Top 5 Unusual People with Unique Features in the World. Everyone always wants to have a beautiful, easy to see or at least normal appearance like everyone else. However, for some people, God seems to be too unfair to them when forcing them to have a different appearance, even a bit monstrous, and make others fear them. However, with their extraordinary life force, they overcame themselves to assert themselves. Conjoined twins, the woman with the largest natural breasts in the world weighing up to 51 kilograms, the tallest man on the planet at 2.51 meters, the tiny person weighing 5 kilograms, or the gorilla woman are the top 5 unusual people with unique features in the world that we want to show you. Now let's discover what challenges fate has brought them and how they overcame. Number 1. The ugliest woman in the world. Julia Pastrana, 1834 to 1860, was born in Mexico. She was diagnosed with 2 rare disease syndromes that make her face emaciated, covered with thick hair, and have a protruding jawbone like a gorilla. That's why as a child Pastrana was ridiculed by neighbors and friends. Due to her unusual appearance, they even gave her many sarcastic nicknames. She was sent to an orphanage and lived there until the age of 20. This Mexican woman officially became known in 1854 when she participated in a street performance in Gothic Hall. At the time, people often liked to watch strange characters. Therefore, Pastrana's unusual appearance attracted a showman. Despite the ridicule, Pastrana remained calm and raised her voice. Contrary to her appearance, she had a very beautiful voice that captivated everyone. Since then, she had become a rising star, sought after everywhere. She toured around Canada, the USA, and the UK. During her concerts in the UK, not only did she show off her beautiful voice, but this Mexican-born woman also showed off her language skills, including English, Spanish, German, etc. Thanks to this, she earned a lot of money. During her artistic career, Pastrana was closely followed by the showman Theodore Land. At that time, the public had to recognize this woman's talent even though she did not have a perfect appearance. Even many men, out of respect for their talents, proposed marriage. This worried the manager Theodore, fearing that his quote-unquote treasure of money would soon fall into the hands of others. This man tried to get Pastrana by all means. In 1857, the manager Theodore proposed to Pastrana and received an agreement. They got married amidst the blessings and even the ridicule of the world. The thought that Pastrana's life turned a new page, but this is also the time to mark a series of bitter and humiliating days. She was treated like a commodity, exhausted by countless performances. She was even advertised on posters by her husband as a cross between an ape and a monkey to attract attention from the public. Even when she was pregnant with her first child, Pastrana continued to be forced by her husband to perform. In March 1860, in a difficult birth, she gave birth to her first son. The boy was also covered in hair like his mother and lived only 3 days. A few days after his son's death, she too passed away because she was too weak. Instead of grieving the loss of his wife and his child, the unscrupulous husband continued to use the dead body to make a profit. Theodore initially sold the bodies of his wife and son to a professor at Moscow University, Russia. This person performed an autopsy, embalmed the mother and son, and displayed them at the school museum. This attracted a large number of visitors. When the news of the mummies of Pastrana and his son received attention from the public, Theodore pretended to be sorry, said that he had been deceived, and wished to bring the body of his loved one for burial. With support, he brought 2 bodies back to England but then put them on display at exhibitions. Curious people who wanted to see it with their own eyes had to spend money to see it. After many times of switching back and forth, the body of the child was not even intact. In 1900, her body was bought by the Norwegian Medical Legal Academy and put on display with the purpose of reminding the next generation of compassion and a sense of morality. In 2013, with the support of Norwegian authorities, the bodies of her and her son were buried in a solemn ceremony. A large number of people attended this special ceremony to pay their respect and apologize to this unfortunate woman. Number 2. The world's tallest man. The Guinness Book of World Records named Sultan Kösen as the tallest person in the world with a height of 2.51 meters. He is Turkish. Born on December 10, 1982, he grew up in an unusual life like many of his peers. The tallest man in the world shared that he himself had to drop out of school because his height was growing too fast and abnormally. Along with his great height, Sultan Kösen also holds the record for both hands and feet. Accordingly, his hand is up to 28.5 centimeters long. The size of 2 feet is 36.5 centimeters left and 35.5 centimeters right. Because every part of Sultan Kösen's body is oversized, he always has to order his own clothes. Having the ideal height is what everyone wants. However, with a huge measurement of 2.51 meters like Sultan Kösen, it is probably not what everyone wants. In fact, Sultan Kösen himself also faced many crises in his own life. Even he couldn't find a stable job. For him, living a normal life like everyone else is almost impossible. With such a large stature, he has to use 2 crutches to help him move around more easily. Number 3. The world's most famous conjoined twins. Abigail and Brittany were born on March 7, 1990 in Minnesota, USA. The birth of the twins was a real surprise for both the doctors and their parents, because at first everyone thought it was a girl. Even the ultrasound scans did not show any images of the twins or any abnormalities in the development of the fetus. It was only during labor that the mother realized that something was wrong. The doctors panicked, and it took a long time for the mother to see her 2 children. Fortunately, the parents of the twins did not hate or fear, but both felt love for the 2 children. The worried expressions of the doctors also lessened. However, because the body is so special, the survival of both sisters is considered very fragile right from birth. According to statistics, out of 30 million conjoined twins, only 1 survived. The other's internal organs were gradually weakened during the first 24 hours after birth. Although the doctors were both predicting a bad outcome, it was surprising that both of them overcame it all and grew up like normal, healthy babies. The doctors did not even discuss whether to separate the 2 girls because this solution would kill one of them or make them both unhealthy. Moreover, for more than 30 years, the twins themselves have proven that they do not need any separation surgery because they can live with a conjoined body supporting the other. According to the anatomical results of the doctors, the bodies of the Abigail and Brittany sisters include 2 heads, 2 legs, 2 hands, 2 spines, 3 lungs, 2 hearts, 1 liver, 2 stomachs, 3 kidneys, the general circulatory system, and genitals. However, doctors do not understand how the sisters' bodies can function so well despite such irregularities. Each of them could only control their own body side, and they couldn't feel the other sister's body. For example, Abigail doesn't feel anything when someone shakes Brittany's hand, and vice versa. Since childhood, the sisters have learned to synchronize their movements and coordinate their actions. They all work so perfectly that they easily learn to play the piano, swim, ride a bike, and play sports. Despite sharing the same body, Abigail and Brittany have completely different personalities. In addition, the clothes they choose are tailored to each person's personal taste and size. The girls always love children and often do extra babysitting jobs. It is not surprising that they will choose teaching as their dream job in the future. In addition, the sisters express their wish to have a family in the future. The doctors are sure that the sister can have children, but that is a difficult question because they share the same body for 2 people. Scientists believe the 2 girls shared neural connections. This is why girls can read each other's minds, write emails without consulting the other sister, and even finish each other's sentences. Also, on an intuitive level, the bodies need synchronize. When Abigail wants to drink, Brittany is thirsty, and when one of them wants to fix their hair or makeup, one helps the other. Number 4. Woman with world's largest natural breasts. Miss Annie Hawkins from Turner, Atlanta, USA must surely make all women on this planet admire her when she owns a completely natural breast with a weight of 55 kilograms. Her quote, huge breasts have been recognized by Guinness World Records as the largest natural breasts in the world. However, her oversized breasts grew to such a large size as a result of the rare disease gigantomastia. This miracle is that her breasts continue to grow non-stop. Annie revealed that she started growing breasts at the age of 5. She said, "When I was in puberty, I was very confused with the fact that my breasts kept getting bigger and bigger. Then I was diagnosed with gigantomastia, a disease that causes breasts to continue to grow without stopping." Annie was teased by her friends as a whale-breasted girl, and the boys just approached and flirted with her because of her outstandingly large breasts. However, in 1991, Annie met the love of her life, Air Force officer Ellen Turner, who was 20 years her senior. After dating for 5 years, the couple decided to share a house, and Ellen encouraged Annie to be proud and take advantage of her super big breasts. Annie followed her husband's advice and submitted portraits to magazines. There was a magazine specializing in pictures of white women breaking the law that published pictures of Annie. Annie's career took off from there, and then she set up a website that charges people who want to see her photos. In just a few months, Annie had more than 1 million registered members on the site, and she made $50,000 in the first year. Annie always admired her husband and said that it was Ellen who helped her have a successful career. Today, Annie continues her work as a model, giving presentations and participating in events. However, Annie couldn't sleep lying flat because her large breasts could crush her. She has never breastfed her 2 children because of the risk of suffocation. Despite these inconveniences, Annie's not too bothered because her breasts have helped her earn more than $1 million to send her children to college, buy a car, buy a house, travel around the world, etc. Annie also has no intention of having surgery to reduce the size of her bust. She said, "Why shrink when it's no problem?" Number 5. The world's shortest woman. On December 21, 2011, Jodi Amgay was recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's smallest woman. It is known that Jodi was born on December 16, 1993, in Nagpur, Maharashtra, India. Although she is 30 years old this year, she is only 62.8 centimeters tall and weighs about 5 kilograms. As the youngest daughter in a family of 5 siblings, Jodi is the only one who has this condition. When she was pregnant with Jodi, Mrs. Ranjana said she could not feel any movement in her baby. The doctors said they couldn't do an ultrasound because she was too small to see. Weighing just under 400 grams at birth, Jodi is said to only live a few hours. But with strong vitality, Jodi overcame this and developed like a normal baby. She's learning to walk, teething, and eating just like any other child, Ranjana said. But when Jodi was a toddler, doctors diagnosed her as being forever in the body of a child due to a growth hormone deficiency. Jodi's condition is primordial dwarfism, a rare genetic form of congenital dwarfism. The girl quickly learned to get used to the defect in appearance and shine with her own difference. From a young age, Jodi started acting. She participated in the first MV at the age of 8 and gradually became known to many people. Jodi's story also caught the attention of producers Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk, who later invited her to join the American Horror Story Season 4 Horror Stories. Despite being famous and successful, Jodi is not always comfortable with herself. She used to be very self-conscious about her appearance, always trying to change herself. She learned how to dress and apply makeup like a girl, even though her clothes are the same size as a 3-month-old baby. She even has a master's degree in fashion. However, size is not the only thing that hinders Jodi in life. The real problem was her legs. More than 10 years ago, while on vacation with her family in Kashmir, India, while holding Jodi, her father slipped and fell. The accident caused the actress's legs to be broken, and the girl could not walk for more than 10 minutes due to sequelae from the incident that year. Jodi often has to manage pain with medication and wear a leg brace. That makes it difficult for air to circulate, making her legs increasingly small and susceptible to infection. Jodi said that she still has not been able to find a cure for her feet, so she always feels unable to live fully with herself. Even so, the little girl is still a great source of inspiration for the will to live and the spirit to overcome adversity for many less fortunate people in the world. This is the information of top 5 unusual people with unique features in the world. Although they have defects in appearance, they have surpassed themselves and left us with lessons about humanity, confidence, determination, and effort. Do you know any other similar cases? Please leave your comments below and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Goodbye for now and see you in the next videos.